Cursor just released automations. I'm going to be doing a deep dive into how to set them up, what to use them for, and how they can help you today in your daily workflow. So first I'll go into how to set them up. So here I've got a new automation. So basically you have these different sections: triggers, instructions, tools, and the cloud agent environment. You have multiple triggers that you can have. You have the classic cron jobs, which is what other automations have as well. But the thing that makes like Cursor automations really cool is that you can also do GitHub triggers, Slack triggers, linear triggers, and PagerDuty triggers, as well as custom webhooks. So for example, with the GitHub triggers, when a pull request gets opened or a comment gets added, you can automatically trigger something. So for example, if a pull request gets opened, maybe it automatically assigns a reviewer based on who edited that part of the code. We also have the Slack triggers here. So when a new message gets sent to a public channel or a channel gets created, for example, if you have a bugs channel, you could have an automation that automatically triages the bug and assigns someone to fix it, or it creates a PR by itself. The last trigger that I want to go over is webhooks. So webhooks, basically after you save this, it creates a custom URL for your webhook so that you can call this and run the automation whenever you want. This allows a high degree of flexibility when you want to create your automations. Next, we've got the instructions. This is pretty self-explanatory. It's just whatever you want your prompt to be. So you can select your model here. But the cool thing is you can also do some actions like send a message to Slack or open a pull request, which I feel like other automations don't have. So when I tried the Codex ones, they didn't really have these like send to Slack type things. You can also do slash commands here, which they've got a few global ones here as well, but I'm sure they'll add some repo specific slash commands too. The next section is the tools section. This is by far the coolest part in my opinion, because I haven't seen something like this in the Codex automations. So first we've got memories. As you can see here, like it allows the agent to store memories based on your automation, and it also allows it to retrieve them. So this makes your automation improve over time as the agent like stores more memories, which is I think is super cool. You can manage them as well. So next we've got add tool or MCP. So this one's insanely useful because we've got Slack and GitHub actions that we can do. We can send a message to Slack once the automation is finished, or we can get it to read some Slack channels. We can also get it to open a pull request, for example, to automatically fix a bug. We've also got MCP servers. So it comes with like a lot of the popular ones, which I think is really useful. So you can get the automation to have like linear, Slack, AWS, like all of these tools that it can use, as well as you can also bring your own custom MCP server here, which is really nice. Finally, we've got the cloud agent environment. So basically what this does is if you toggle it on, then it can use your configured environment that you've set up for that cloud agent. This will allow it to use like your environment variables. So why would you want to turn this off? So when you turn this off, it starts the agent faster. This is, for example, if you want to do something that doesn't involve your environment variables. For example, you just want to like look through your commit history and make a summary. This is when I would disable it, so then it starts up faster and you get a faster response. That's a rundown of how to create automations and what makes up an automation. Now we've got some suggested ones that the Cursor team comes with by default. So we've got, for example, one that finds vulnerabilities of recently merged PRs. We've got one that automatically assigns PR reviewers. So this triggers when a PR is opened, as you can see here, which is why I think the GitHub triggers are really cool. It basically checks the commit history and sees who worked on that feature and assigns them to review it. So you can see here it's got those tools as well. Triggers and tools make these automations insanely flexible. We've also got one that summarizes changes daily, fixes bugs in Slack, and yeah, there's a lot more examples here. So a helpful one I've been using is called Summarize Changes Daily. This basically summarizes what changed in the code base in the past 24 hours. This is really useful if you work in an engineering team and there's a lot of people making changes and you need to stay across what's happening in the code base, which is really hard if you don't have something like this. So this basically sends a message daily with what changed in the past 24 hours. So with new features like this, you might be wondering, what are the main use cases? What are some things that I can start using today? So thankfully, the Cursor team has posted some of the automations that they use themselves. One of the biggest ones that I've seen is the one posted by Austin here. So they basically automated the PR review lifecycle. So when a PR gets opened, a Cursor agent checks the risk level. If it's a low risk PR, it just automatically approves it, and then the person can merge it in. If not, it looks through the commit history and sees who worked on that feature and who's the best person to review it, and it automatically assigns them to review. I think this one is one of the most useful ones because right now, let's say you make a change, you won't know who to tag to review it. There might be a system, as he describes here, where you have to get a review by like 2 people, which doesn't make sense for every single task. So yeah, this increases shipping velocity for sure. Another really useful example by John here is this one. Whenever they get paged for an incident and they have to wake up at like 3 a.m. to resolve it, they would have to like gain context on what happened, like they have to go debug. But with an automation, whenever they wake up and get themselves onto the computer, there's already a PR ready and the agent has given them context on what has happened already. So this means they can just get to sleep right away, right after they merge the PR in, and make sure that it's all good. Another useful example by Balter here. So basically they have a team channel, and whenever an issue gets reported or there's a feature request, an agent just gives it a shot and returns back with a PR. So this means they can either just merge it in right away if it looks good, or give 1 or 2 more prompts to fix it up and then merge it in. So this speeds up getting in feature requests and fixing issues. We've got a final example from Adam here. So this one isn't obviously the most common use case, but it's pretty interesting to see what you can do with these. So he connected the Databricks MCP to a cron-based agent to investigate recent payments for fraud patterns. So it's pretty flexible what you can do with these automations because of how many MCPs are connected. It's just your creativity is the limit pretty much. So that's it for today's video on automations. I'll be experimenting with more automations in the next few weeks, and I'll be posting any useful ones that I find. If you found this useful, please like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, let me know what you want to see next. Good. Wait. So that's it for today's video on automations. I'll be experimenting with some in the next few weeks, and I'll be sharing whatever ones I find useful. Comment below with any automations that you're currently using that you want me to check out or that you think are useful at the moment. Drop a like if this was useful and subscribe for more videos.